Hello guys and welcome to Watching Time. Today we're going to be talking about my latest addition. Yes, another Rolex in the collection. But this is one of the new models, the 2023, the new releases that we saw in Geneva. And I'm really happy that it actually got very quick from the moment I saw the new models and actually being able to buy it. So this is probably a good news on what is the trend, on what's going on with Rolex, and maybe good news that the waiting list are just starting to go back into a more normal scenario. So the production, they have hyped the productions, they are increasing the availability, and probably this is kind of the result of that. Now, I don't know, I choose this model between all of the new 2023. I thought it was the moment to add it to the collection, but maybe I should have chose another one. I don't know. Anyway, in the sense that I might have been lucky of wearing, I don't know, maybe a titanium jet monster. So what watch are we talking about? But before I show you guys, I just want to remind you, Rolex is a brand that I appreciate a lot because of the history and the quality that's behind. Are they good value for money? Well, definitely a couple of €1,000 less, it will be a better value for money. But still, it's at the end of the day one of the top watch brands in the world, and their models, their iconic models, have made history. So this is important to take, but there is also a problem that I don't like around Rolex, and it's the fact that it's a status quo brand. People tend to want them or buy them or wear them just to do an investment or just to show to someone that they have money to buy something. So it's weird. It's weird, and we all know the weird also situation on availability, waiting list, blacklist, gray market, black market around Rolex, fakes. So just I will focus on this video just on the watch that I got and the quality and what I find around it. But Rolex watches are much a bigger topic. So first of all, good news, I got it fast. So maybe something is changing for good for everyone, and if you're waiting for a Rolex, you might get it also fast. So what are we talking about? Well, I actually got the new Explorer 40 millimeters. When the 39 millimeters was taken out of the catalog, I thought it was the greatest mistake Rolex has done. Many people were happy with the 36, and I don't disagree with them. Having the 36, that vintage size watch back and available, that's a very bold, good move. There is a lot of people with a small wrist. There is a lot of people that like small watches, and that is the size that the Rolex Explorer was and should be or have been always available. But taking out the 39 millimeters, that was a mistake, a big mistake. Why? Because there's people that like that sizing. I love the 3940-ish size. It's perfect for my medium wrist. And it's perfect also for modern tool watches. If I want to modernize a tool watch, I will go for that size. I will not be producing 36 millimeters watches for tool watches because it's not logical. You need something that it's also adequately big and easy to view to the modern days. So I agree that 36 should exist, but bringing back 40 was the biggest good move that they did because it brings back something that they took out. So that's also a good news in terms of how Rolex is managing their new launches. And I wouldn't find it weird that maybe next year we get a new Milgauss. We saw the rehaul on the Air King. So these small things I think are at least important and show that they are hearing their customers. So let's go back to the 40 millimeters. This is the perfect size. They have actually nailed it better than the 39. The 39 had a series of issues, like for example, the bracelet tapered a lot, so it was smaller. The end links of the bracelet actually sit inside of the case, not outside as they sit now, and that, visually speaking, changes the way you see the watch. The 39 case had longer lugs and they were thinner, something that in the 40 have become quite chubbier, or at least more, I don't know how to explain it, but it makes the watch more logical in terms of proportion. Explorer is a thin watch after all, and you have all these shiny places around the crown. That's the only thing I would have taken out. I would have just do matte stainless steel also around the crown. I love that from, no, this is not my Tudor Ranger 39 millimeters. It is essentially a revamp of the vintage Rolex Explorer. Even the color is vintage in terms of lume, and it's all matte stainless steel, so it is fantastic. The Rolex Explorer 40 millimeters, it is an excellent watch, and I love the new size. It has everything that you will want from a tool watch. The clasp has obviously the secure way for Rolex so that it accidentally doesn't open. You have the 30 to 30 movement inside, 70 hours power reserve, parachrome, anti-magnetic. It is perfect in terms of specifications. In terms of simplicity too, you have a black lacquer dial, which is very nicely done. You have the chromalite that works very well inside of the numerals and the indexes. In the newest model, also in the 36, you have Explorer that has moved from the bottom part to the top part. Some people don't like that. I think it's just fine. I like it the way it is. You have the Lollipop second hand, simply something that is very simple, simplicity, and it brings a good proportion to the whole dial. So overall, I think this was one of the greatest proposals that Rolex was doing with the 2023 models. Of course, there are some other interesting things that came out, but I had to choose, and I put as my priority bringing back to my collection a reasonable size for the Explorer. And this 40 millimeters is just perfect. It works much better than the 39, definitely, and it sits much better on my 18.5 centimeters wrist. So I would like to show you guys again how it sits very well. The strap, as I was saying, it's fatter. Let's put it a little bit wider than the 39 old reference, and as you can see, it just fits well on a medium-sized wrist and kind of integrates very well with the whole arm. I think it's a very nice proportion to have on the Rolex. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've liked this video. I wanted to share my first impression and views on this watch. I think it's probably one of the best 2023 releases that they have done, bringing back a size and a proportion that it can be well recognized by many that were crying out the lack of the 39, and now there's something for everyone. You have the 36, you have the 40, and you have, I don't know what happened there, the gold and stainless steel. That is just weird. That's not a tool watch. That's something that shouldn't be there. But anyway, there's probably people that like it, probably women, I don't know, but it's not something I will be wearing, and definitely goes far away from the essence of what a tool watch should be. Please take care, guys, and see you in my next video, and hope you guys that like the history behind the Explorer, an iconic model, a dial that every time I see a 39 and a 6, I just say, oh, that's an Explorer dial. So this is in our imagination. part of the history of watches. It is there. Either you like it or not like it. Rolex made history with the Explorer, and not because it went to the Mount Everest, but actually because every 3, 9, and 6 it's recognized automatically in the brain of someone as an Explorer dial. So they are the father of this type of watches, tool watches. And I think this is just perfect to have in your collection a piece of history. So please take care, guys, and see you in the next